Picture this. You're in board meeting. You're a Disney animator. Your bosses, Jeffrey Katzenberg and Michael Eisner, invite you. They want you to pitch some movies for them. The two guys who directed The Great Mouse Detective have some pretty interesting ideas. They want to make a Little Mermaid adaptation in the vein of classic Disney, as well as this weird idea about Treasure Planet, but in space. Obviously, those are bad ideas. You have the golden idea. You want Oliver Twist, but with dogs. Now, this idea isn't that great. However, it just so happens that Jeffrey Katzenberg is an egomaniac, and since he always wanted to make his own version of Oliver, even though it already existed in 1968, what's it called? He that made it back in the day, and it's pretty well known, but whatever. Is it 68? I don't even know. Anyway, he wanted to make his own version at Paramount, but they didn't let him. So, of course, like he always does, he makes his own movies when he gets the chance, and that's why Oliver and Company was greenlit. It was to star everyone's favorite character from The Rescuers, Penny, living in New York City after she was adopted. This was actually a part of the original script, I'm not even joking. Obviously, the producers thought, that's a terrible idea, and they scrapped it. Good thing, too, because that was an awful idea. Since Katzenberg was more involved with this project, and he's a giant sellout, he put advertisements all over an animated movie. This doesn't happen often, so it's just very odd to see Coca-Cola all over this film. In fact, the whole time I was very thirsty. My lips were really wanted to drink out of a cold bottle of Coca-Cola Polar Bear next to me. Did I say Pola? I don't know why I said polar. I meant to say polar. You know what I mean. Anyway, I also really want to tab for some reason and want to watch USA Today and play on a Yamaha harmonica and take a picture of a Kodak camera. I have no idea why I want to do these things. It's just something that I feel like doing. Now, obviously, with this great idea of adapting a classic book without even trying to adapt it at all by changing the setting and characters entirely, with making it be as dated as possible, was going to be a giant hit, so they're going to put it up against their main rival on the same exact days that it releases. How could that movie do any better than this movie? Oh crap, it's The Land Before Time, the movie series that has 20,000 sequels for no reason. Oh wait, it outperforms Disney's movie by a lot, like the other Don Bluth's movies of this era. I don't know what they were thinking releasing it the exact same day. This is also started the dinosaur craze too, so that was a big part of why Oliver and Company did not do well, because Oliver and Company doesn't even know who it's for. Land Before Time, even though I don't think it's that great, it's okay, is a movie that's very basic and has dinosaurs, so of course little kids wanted to watch that over Oliver Twist in New York for some reason. Disney's Oliver and Company is a very strange movie. There's even weird circles that go in the middle of the screen sometimes. You take a classic book written by the great Charles Dickens about a kid who's an orphan who's living in old England, well, later old London, and has a lot of interesting themes and mysteries going on about heritage, found family, the idea of society and how it treats the less fortunate, the roles of gangs in society, and so forth and so on. And you make that completely different, because now it's about dogs living in New York City. See the juxtaposition there? This movie isn't bad, but it's very strange, and it's so dog-centric, but the main character is a cat. Pretty much all the decisions as an adaptation are incredibly strange, and none of them really make any sense. It's like they want to make an original film, but as you know from the beginning, it never was supposed to be an original film. This was always intended to be an adaptation of Oliver Twist, but when you watch it, it does not feel like that at all. It feels like they want to make a dog movie, but oh wait, we gotta adapt a book that has nothing to do with our plot. And the movie misses a lot of plot points from the book and thematics, even from the musical, which this one's more based on. The main villain of this movie is awful, which is a shame because the villain in the book, the same name, is one of the best villains in literature history. The guy is so evil in the book that after he kills a woman, he decides that he probably should kill his own dog because his dog might give him away. And that's all you really need to know with the book version of this character. He's present and he showcases the absolute worst humanity can become if they go down the wrong path. It's a dark shadow to other characters. And he dies a pretty brutal death by hanging himself, which actually happens in Tarzan, believe it or not. I guess they took it from there, but he doesn't die like that in the movie. Here he gets run over by a train, and somehow the others just, they jump up there somehow, but then he gets run over, this guy. Yeah, he gets blown up, like, geez Louise. That's the only thing I remember about this character. In the rest of the movie, he's a boring mobster gang guy who has a car. He has 2 dogs, unlike one dog in the book, and he's got a bald head. That's it. He has an interesting voice. His motivation is incredibly weak. The one guy owes him money, and we don't even see the rest of his organization at all. You don't see anything about his character to make him interesting, or you just hate him. We don't. The only character we see he has any relationship is the one guy, and who we don't even know that really that one that well. He's what they owe money.
Where's my fucking money, Danny?
For the most part, his dogs do most of his work. He doesn't do anything villainous. You don't hate this guy oh my god, I can't believe he did that in the book. Or he's this guy's actually really scary. No, he's barely in it. Randomly he's yeah, I guess I'm gonna kidnap this girl the last 5 minutes, and then he gets killed by the train. Wow, what a great guy. Yes, I really just watched him die that many times, because it's the only good scene of him in the entire movie. Also, explain how this moped's able to jump like that. What the fuck? During this incredibly dangerous scene, we see some of our main characters get thrown off this guy. Where the fuck did they go? They probably fucking died as well. But only the one guy dies. Jeez Louise. Even the way this movie starts out is stupid. So they're giving away kittens here. Well, for free, I guess. Maybe not. Near the end, they give away for free. And see, all know people don't want kittens. Get the fuck out of here. That's so stupid. This is one of the reasons why the animal transition just doesn't work here, because they're not adapting the story, but it's just Robin Hood, they're called the Ran from Martha. They're realistic animals. In the original Oliver, they're orphans. They know how hard it is to get kids adopted. It's not as easy as a baby cat, which are incredibly easy to get adopted, and everybody wants. For free, oh yeah, don't want it. Get the fuck out of here. The juxtaposition doesn't work. He doesn't have to worry about food that much. He doesn't have to worry about acting for another because he doesn't live in an orphanage. So a lot of the things just don't work because they had to make them animals. As a kid, you're oh, that's sad, but as an adult, it makes no sense. Oh, this cat is fucking free, and it's not just a cat, it's a fucking kitten. Yeah, no one wants this, even though clearly no one even says, oh, I don't like fucking cats, or oh, something like that. That's why it doesn't work as a fucking kitten thing. It would work better as a fucking actual kid. Do you not understand this, Disney, when you're translating stuff like this? I don't know what's happening Disney. It's probably Jeffrey Katzenberg who thought it was a great idea. Also, who the fuck leaves a box out in the street like this? Who the fuck does that? Are they fucking psychopaths? In this world, people just don't like cats because everything else is a fucking dog. Which, yeah, I like dogs, but at the same time, it's kind of weird that there's only one cat, and I guess it's siblings that got sold, but this one didn't for some reason. Who was selling the cats in the first place? Why is this one cat the only one that didn't get sold, or even if it's free? I just don't understand that. Do they not know the Crazy Cat League exists? They pick up any cat, especially if they're a kid. What the fuck's going on in this world? I guess that's just what happens when you're in New York, because, Oliver Twist is such an iconic film being set place in New York City, right? Right? Remember when Oliver Twist took place in the 1980s? Yes, this exists in the movie for some reason. There's just the most dated 80s thing ever. A guy walking around listening to 80s music in a boombox. And no one notices this cat. We don't want this cat, I guess. They're just ignoring it because New York's busy. Wow. Very, very creative choice there. Is that why they took place in New York? This movie is also a musical. Kind of, not really. It's full of a lot of dated tracks. The first song that plays during that whole stuff that makes no sense is the most 80s sounding song ever. I don't mind it, just like the 80s, actually like it, but it doesn't fit in an animated movie, especially one that's supposed to be an adaptation of a Charles Dickens work that takes place in New York. I just can't get my head around that. There's only one song that people remember from this film that stuck around. And not only that, it's the only part of the movie people even remember or talk about. The main reason why is that they cast this dog, who's Dodger, by the way. Yeah, very, very, makes a lot of sense. He is voiced by Billy Joel, and he gets his own fucking song. And so, if you just couldn't guess, that's why it's the best song in the movie. It's Billy Joel who just wrote a song for the movie. Just a Joe, Mr. Joel. And he even plays piano with his tail. Get it? Because he's the piano man. Dodger, played by Billy Joel, is the only character in this movie that's really good. He's the one you remember. He's actually pretty cool. Actually, I like this guy a lot. And Billy Joel's actually a pretty good voice actor. Surprisingly, this is one of the only films he ever did. So, yeah, you wouldn't expect that, but yeah, he's really good, and his character is the only one that people really like in this movie. So, yeah, he's cool, and luckily he's in most of the movie. There are also other dogs in the movie that make up the gang, because the gang is no longer a child's, orphan thing. It's just dogs. One of them's a Mexican stereotype. Lovely. And their leader, Fagin, is no longer evil. He's just a bum who's down on his luck, even though he actually is. He's voiced by Dom DeLuise, is how you say it, who is oddly known for being in Don Bluth animated movies and not Disney, so that's kind of a weird tidbit. This guy commits crimes with dogs. And we're supposed to like him. Not only that, but the dogs are really bad at doing their own one job they're good at, which is nothing at all. Actually, only one dog's competent. The other ones are just terrible. This one dog knows how to put on Rouge the Bad Eyeshadow. That's something. What am I supposed to say to that? So yeah, this version of Fagin sucks. He's horrible. He went from a straight up villain in the book to more sympathetic in the musical, but still a bad guy, to this one where like he's actually, I think, the worst version of the character, but he's actually good, even though he steals from the people who help him out in the end. What a jackass. Fuck this guy. The rest of the movie plot really isn't that interesting. Oliver goes to a new home, and the other dogs want to get him back because why not? They've known him for less than a day, so of course they're best friends. So most of the movie doesn't even have a story. The Fagin character's barely there, and so is Sykes. So it just had the dogs are like, wow, let's get him back. And the movie's like an hour long, so it's like there's like nothing. There's a lot of stuff that happens to the Oliver book and musical, so this is just pathetic. I didn't hate the movie, but it's definitely really odd. It's kind of charming, the music's okay, but not that great. It felt like it should be a TV show, not a movie, which isn't the best thing to say about a movie. I mean, I just read the original book and watched the musical adaptation, and I have, like, nothing to say about this movie. It's just, like, that. Like, shit. This was a mistake. Other than Billy Joel as Dodger, everything else is just bad. Or just racist, apparently. And this poodle dog's fucking awful, too. Like, I fucking hate her and her terrible song. It's an adaptation that doesn't want to be an adaptation, and therefore it's not a very good film, unfortunately. Luckily, though, all this BS would be scraped aside as Disney would jump into the Disney Renaissance after this really odd film that bombed terribly. Sorry, Oliver and Company, but you are not good company. Can someone explain to me why the girl's dressed as Annie in the end? Like, what the fuck's that about? Here's the current ranking. I have Oliver and Company at the top of the D tier. It almost is a C, but the more you think about it, the less it makes sense. Especially as an adaptation. It's a great adaptation that's been done multiple times, so you're going to deviate to it. You must have a good reason, and this one doesn't feel like it had any interesting ideas or reasoning or morals or themes or much going on. It feels like a movie but made by a committee, which, what it sounds like for development, definitely seems to be the case here. Just from the corporate sponsorships to the very 80s aesthetic of it, which I don't mind, but just doesn't really work for a Disney movie, and it just makes the film feel dated, which is something that most of the other Disney films just don't have that problem. So if you have dated elements, it doesn't really make you look good in the lineup. So that's why I had to put it at the top of D tier. It is mostly saved by pretty much Billy Joel being in the movie. Bill Sykes, whose name is actually slightly changed. See, in the novel, it's Sikes, but here it's Sykes. Oh, they thought they were clever. I don't get it. He still sounds like a very English name, and Fagin, who sounds the most English name ever, he's still, they didn't change that one at all. And all the other characters in the book, other than Oliver and Dodger, they're gone. There's no Nancy. That was my favorite character in the novel, in the musical. So I'm kind of mad that they didn't name the dog like that. Like, nope, they didn't care. So yeah, he sucks. He's a mob boss, and that's it. Nothing interesting besides that. Being a mob boss in general is just not an interesting character. He had to do a lot more. To showcase, like, why is this guy so evil? And I guess it kind of does the bare minimum for that, but you gotta see, like, a clear motivation from this guy. Like, why is he kidnapping a girl? Doesn't seem to add up. Like, does he know exactly what this girl's family is? Not really. He was just told by the one person who owes him money that. Why would he believe him? I don't know. This character feels stupid. He's not evil. His design's lame. He's not evil enough when I say he is evil, but his dogs do most of the talking for him. He sucks. I did something new with this song section here, so every time I'm on that current movie, the songs will be highlighted, so I'll know where I'm at in this tier list, because you can see it's large, and there's multiple things per tier song per like section here, so it helps me out figure out, okay, there it is, so I don't forget any. Anyway, Oliver and Company's all over the place in music. A lot of the songs feel like they're just like what was popular at the time. They did something like that. Other times they're trying to do classical show tunes, but yeah. The weird thing about the music in the movie is that pretty much it's all like clammed towards the beginning. You'll actually have a song, another song, another song, another song, and then nothing. You'll have one at the end, you have one reprise at the end. I haven't counted the reprises, even though I might have to do something about that for the next film, because there are some I want to count. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do, but I think for the next film, I'm going to start counting the reprises. Is that how you say it? I don't even know. I always say reprise, but I think it's reprise. You guys can tell me how much of an idiot I am in the comment section down below. But I didn't count that one because it just feels like the same thing. Anyway, so in E tier we have Perfect Isn't Easy. The voice actress can't sing, and she does this weird ugh at one point for no reason, and that's just annoying. Like, what was ugh for? And wow, like, what the fuck? Go listen to the song and hear these weird parts. The song feels entirely pointless as a musical number too, because here's the introduction to this character and they're vain. That's it. Wow. Pretty much three of the 6 songs are just in D tier. 6 songs? 5 songs, sorry. Are just in D tier. These are songs that are like, okay, that's nice, and I forget about them as soon as they're done. Street to Gold is a very typical, like, generic 80s song. Nothing special. Now, I like the 80s, but some of the 80s music that are just like the pop ones are just do nothing for me. They're just like synth heavy and cheesy, and that's it. 70s, that was a great decade for music. This 80s, I think it's overrated. In fact, people keep imitating the 80s styles. It's annoying to me. Alright, you guys aren't Michael Jackson. You can't do it. Anyway, that's a side tangent. Speaking of 80s groups, Once Upon a Time in New York City. This ain't Back to the Future, Huey Lewis, and you are not singing The Power of Love. This song is cheesy, and the fact is like, oh, come on, Oliver! And the fact that that's the tone of this movie is going to basically be what it is, a weird New York circle jerk movie about stuff that makes no sense. It's like, and anyone interested in, I don't know, just don't like it. Good Company is okay. The girl could sing. If they sang it better, probably would be higher. It's a nice melody, but nothing else that special. The character Penny is just very, Could have been done more better. Maybe it would have been better if it was, like, her name's not Penny, it's Jenny. Jenny. The same character from Aristocats. The same Aristocats, not fucking Aristocats. The Rescuers. God damn, fuck me. Anyway, so this next song isn't in C tier. Isn't in B tier, isn't in A tier. It is in the A tier, and you can see I always forget to, like, I placed a song down and I forgot to get rid of it. But yeah, top. I'm not joking. Top of the list is "Why Should I Worry" from Oliver and Company. This is the first thing I learned about this movie, because I didn't even know it existed until I was like a teenager. When I was became really into Disney. I was like, oh, what's this movie? And I heard this song, like, wow, I actually really want to see the movie. When I first saw it, I completely forgot everything that happened into it. I just remember this song, and that's what everyone else remembers it for. It's good. Billy Joel, you're great. I love your music. Can't say much good about the rest of the film. So, why should I worry? Top tier, you listen to it, you'll understand why. Anyway, on to the next thing. I'm excited for the next film because we finally start the Disney Renaissance with The Little Mermaid. I'll see you then.